What comes to your mind when you hear the words mentally strong? Is it someone who never cries? Is it someone who never gets anxious? Or is it someone who never gives up? The truth is, mental strength is not about pretending to be fearless. It is about how you think, how you respond, and what choices you make when life actually gets difficult. So, here's the challenge. As we go through these 7 signs, keep a score. Count how many apply to you. By the end of this video, you'll know just how mentally strong you really are. So, let's start with the first sign. You don't feel sorry for yourself. If you don't feel sorry for yourself all the time and you acknowledge things, you acknowledge the situation, you accept the reality, and you even try to find solutions rather than make your problems look bigger than they actually are, you are definitely mentally strong. It is natural to feel sorry for ourselves when we are going through something difficult, when bad things happen to us. But if you're always looking at yourself as a victim, whatever the situation, and portraying yourself to others as someone who is not that fortunate, you may not be mentally strong after all. When you keep pitying your situation, your life, and your fate most of the time, it is a sign that you're mentally weak. And it's also a sign that you might be expecting attention and sympathy from everyone around you. By doing this, you may feel better for a little bit. You may even get the attention that you want, but you will never grow as a person. If you want to change that and become mentally strong, you can start by changing the way you look at your situations. When you're going through something, imagine your friend is going through the same situation. What will you do? I'm sure you're not just going to sit there and keep showing sympathy towards that person and do nothing else, right? You will definitely say something encouraging to make that person comfortable, to comfort them and try to suggest ways to get out of that situation, even if those things don't work. The point here is you will help your friend to find the strength they need to get back to their problems stronger and deal with those problems. That is exactly how you need to be dealing with yourself. That is exactly how you need to talk to yourself as if you are that friend. Become your own best friend who encourages you. When you do this every time you feel sorry for yourself, you develop the mental strength to deal with situations rather than be a victim of your situations. And the sign number 2 is you don't let anyone else have power over you. If you don't let others control how you feel, how you act, and how you make decisions, in short, you don't let others' opinions and validation influence the way you live your life, that means you are mentally strong. You don't say things like, this person makes me feel bad about myself. My boss makes me feel undervalued. My friends make me jealous. Because no matter how anyone else behaves, you know that you cannot control how they are going to behave. But you know that you can control how you respond to them when you are mentally strong. If you're someone who's struggling to detach from others' opinions of you and you get easily influenced by what others think about you, one of the best ways to shift your perspective and take back control over your life is by using I statements rather than they statements. For example, saying, I feel bad about myself when this person talks like this. I feel undervalued when my boss behaves like this. I feel jealous about my friends. Then what you're doing is you're shifting the focus from them to you and reminding yourself that it is in your control how you feel and respond. And whether you allow things to bother you or you just let them do whatever they want, but be uninfluenced and unbothered by others' actions or opinions or words. And they don't dwell on the past. How many times have you felt bad about the chances that you didn't take, about the mistakes that you made in your life, and think that life would have looked completely different today if only you had taken those chances? And if only you had avoided those mistakes, as promising as it may look and feel, that things would have been different, that things would have been exactly as you had expected them to be and imagined them to be, you never really know that for sure. Maybe you were protected from something when you missed a chance, or Just because you made those mistakes, you were protected from something. Mentally strong people definitely don't dwell on the past as if that's the only thing that defines them. They acknowledge their past and learn from their past and try to make things better in the present and in the future rather than dwelling in the past and wasting time and energy thinking about the past. They don't look at the past as something they live in, but as something which made them wiser and stronger than they were. And they do not fear taking calculated risks. Mentally strong people do not take reckless or foolish risks, but they don't mind taking calculated risks. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Don't be too timid and squeamish about your actions. All life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better." The reason why we avoid any kind of risk is we assume that there is a direct amount of relation between our level of fear and the level of risk. But it's almost always wrong because our emotions are not that rational. Taking a calculated risk is about weighing down the benefits and the outcomes of taking that risk and deciding whether it's worth taking or not. If we only take risks which make us feel comfortable, we might be missing out on the best opportunities of our life. Taking risks can be very unpredictable, but when you keep track of all the risks that you have taken so far, how you felt before, during, and after taking that risk, and if you keep track of what you learned from that particular risk, and how you can apply what you have learned from this particular risk to your future decisions, you learned how to make calculated risks. Because success is not going to come searching for you, it's not going to come find you. You need to actively pursue it, and you actually succeed by taking carefully calculated risks which help you to reach your goals and fulfill your dreams. As we're talking about our own success, how do you feel when someone you know is very successful and you're not? Because mentally strong people do not resent other people's success. It is okay to feel slightly jealous when someone has what you want to have, but it's completely not okay if you want what they have, but you don't want them to have it at all. There can be many reasons why you feel this way, and one of the reasons is your own insecurities. When you're insecure about your achievements and when you see someone achieving something and succeeding at the same thing that you're failing, your insecurities and your deficiencies look much bigger than they actually are. Mentally strong people do not fall into the trap of resenting other people's success. They do this by creating their own definition of success. They try and replace those negative thoughts with rational thoughts. They think about it logically, why other people are succeeding and why they are not. They celebrate other people's accomplishments and successes and focus on their own strengths and work towards their success. And most importantly, they do not compare or compete with others. They only know to cooperate with others to help others succeed. Because resentment is like drinking poison and hoping it will kill your enemies. They don't feel that the world owes them anything. They don't believe that just because they have been through a rough life, they have been through tough times, they are entitled to something good from now on. Just because something didn't go right in your life, it does not mean that you deserve to be treated better and you deserve to be handed everything good in your life. Whatever happens, you get what you work towards. And mentally strong people know that, and they don't believe in entitlement. They believe that they get what they work for and make the best out of every opportunity that they come across. They focus on their own efforts. They focus on what they can give rather than on what they can take. They give back to other people without expecting anything in return. And they don't expect immediate results. Whether they're working on improving their health or they're just working towards a goal, they do not expect the results to be immediate and instant. Even though we hear a lot of stories about people and businesses which become overnight successes, which grew suddenly, in reality, nothing is an instant success. Did you know that Twitter wasn't a success on day one? The founder spent years creating other things like mobiles and other products before he actually founded Twitter. And the Apple phones and watches that we see today were not this successful before. It took more than 3 years and 4 versions of an iPod for Apple to land its first sale. Stories keep showing up on our feeds, making us believe that, making it look like these things are overnight success. Because that's what people are looking at. People are looking at the end results, but not the struggle and the work it took to get there. Nothing in life comes overnight. Even if it did, it won't stay long. So, patience, persistence, and determination are the only things that work. The actual joy is in delaying the gratification and waiting for the results that we actually want and love. So these are some signs which indicate that you're mentally strong. Which one of these did you relate to? Which one of these signs stood out to you? And what is your score? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And please do consider subscribing to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, you take care.